Every structured output tutorial stops as soon as you get the first correct answer. The model returns clean JSON, it maps to your Java object, everybody claps. Then you ship it, and one Tuesday afternoon the model wraps its JSON in a sentence or skips a field or decides your quality score should be the string high, and your endpoint throws a 500 in production, as you can see on the screen right now. Structured output isn't done when it parses once. It's done when it survives the model having a bad day. Today, we make it bulletproof in 3 layers. Quick recap from the model switching video. We have a code review endpoint and send it Java code, get back a structured review. Right, as we can see, a record code review defined here. No wall of text, an actual object. And here you can see this code review method, right? So that entity, this one, right, call is doing real work under the hood. Spring AI generates a JSON schema from your record, appends it to the prompt as formatting instructions, then parses the model's reply back into the object using BeanOutputConverter. It even stripped the markdown fences models love to wrap JSON in. For a demo, this is perfect. For production, it has a problem. This entity is all or nothing. The model returns something it can't parse, you get an exception, and that's it. No second chance, so let's see exactly how it breaks. So here is what actually comes back from real models in production. 6 ways structured output breaks. So, for example, pros around the JSON. Like, so some tags around JSON, markdown fences like JSON, models like to append that. Spring usually trim this, but not always cleanly. Missing, for example, required fields, no summary, or wrong types. So quality score, for example, high instead of a number. Out of range values, quality score either above 100 or below 0. Empty where you need data. Issues, null. And notice something important, only the first 2 are parsing problems. The other 4 parse just fine. You get a valid Java object full of garbage, a quality score of 150, for example, and null list you are about to iterate over. Your app doesn't crash, it quietly does the wrong thing, which is actually worse. So we need 2 different defenses. One for it won't parse, and one for it parsed but the data is wrong. Plus a way to recover from both. 3 layers, and let's build them. Layer 1 is the cheapest and most overlooked, a better schema. The schema Spring AI generates is the instruction the model follows. A vague schema gets vague output. A precise one gets precise output. So first, stop using list string. Instead, use a nested type, because a string can't be validated and can't carry structure. Make it a real nested type with a severity enum and a line number, like we have here. So 3 things doing work here. 1, the nested issue record. Spring AI generates a nested JSON schema automatically, so the model returns structured issues, not free-form strings. 2, the severity enum. This is the quiet hero actually. When a field is enum, the generated schema tells the model it must be exactly one of these 4 values in our case. Models almost never violate an enum constraint. You are eliminated a whole class of garbage for free. And 3, JSON property description on every field. These descriptions go straight into the schema the model sees. For example, this one, quality score, from 0 terrible to 100 excellent. in the description mean the model actually aims for that range. The description is a prompt you get to attach to each individual field. And finally, JSON property order just keeps the schema's field order stable and readable, handy when you are debugging what the model saw. Layer 2 caches the failures that parse but are still wrong. The quality score of 150, the null list. This is plain Jakarta Bean Validation, the same thing you'd put on a request DTO. Just add a Spring Boot starter validation. Then annotate the record with constraints, like we did here. Not null, valid, min, max, size, and so on. So this is our business rules, not the shape. Right? For example, min 0, max 100 on the score. Not blank on the summary, so an empty string fails. Not null on the list, so null fails. Note empty is still allowed, right? Because no issues found is a valid review actually. And the important one, valid on the issues list. That tells the validator to cascade into each issue and check its constraints too. Without valid, nested objects are skipped. Now validate after parsing. Spring Boot already gives you a validator bean. Just inject it. Right? As we did it. Constraint validation. Right? Validator is used here. Okay? So run this against a response with quality score 150, for example, and validation catches it. Must be less than or equal to 100. The object parsed perfectly and we still rejected it. That's the whole point of this layer. Parsing success is not data correctness, but throwing an exception just turned a silent bad data problem into a loud crash problem. Better, but we can do something much nicer. We can hand the error back to the model and let it fix itself. Let's do that. The name version is just Spring retry. Slap retryable on the method and try again. This sometimes works purely because the model is stochastic. Ask again, maybe you get lucky. But it's dumb. It sends the exact same prompt and just hopes for different output. The model has no idea what went wrong last time. The production pattern is smarter. When the output fails, to parse or to validate, we send it back to the model with an error and say, here is what you returned, here is what was wrong, please fix it. Self-healing structured output. Here is the whole thing. Just walk through it. We use BeanOutputConverter directly now instead of entity, because we need this get format instructions and we need to catch the conversion failures ourselves. Entity hides both. So each attempt, let's see, each attempt, we have number of attempts defined in max attempts. Now it's 3, but it could be any. So what we do, we send the prompt, get raw text and try to convert it. And then validate. If both pass, return done. Right? Return review. If not, if either fails, we capture the actual error message and the model's actual output. Error, we have also the output, and we build a correction prompt. As you see here, previous response was invalid, problems. Okay, so, and in the correction prompt, we include both. Next loop, the model sees its own mistake spelled out and fixes it. So 3 strikes and we give up with a clear exception. But how many strikes or max attempts, we can set it up. So, and this is the difference between a demo and the system. The model is allowed to be wrong because the system corrects it. In practice, the second attempt almost always succeeds. You are not hoping for luck. You are giving the model the feedback it needs to correct itself. One more thing you should know exists. Some providers offer native structured output. OpenAI, for example, can take a JSON schema and guarantee the response conforms to it at the API level, so no parsing roulette. Spring AI exposed that through the model's response format options. But two honest caveats. First, it's provider specific. OpenAI does it one way, Anthropic does it through tool calling, and not every model supports it. Second, it guarantees the shape, not your business rules. It still won't stop a quality score of 150 if your schema allows integers. So native model is a great belt, then you can use it. But the prompt plus validate plus retry approach we just built in the suspenders. It's portable across every provider Spring AI supports, which is the entire reason we are using Spring AI in the first place. Use both when you can. The honest limitations, because retries are not free. One, every retry costs tokens and latency. A free attempt ceiling is the real cost. Cap it, log it, and alert if you are retrying constantly. That usually means your schema or validation rules are fighting the model, not the model being flaky. 2. Reprompting isn't magic. If your constraints are contradictory, the model will fail all 3 times and you'll hit the exception. That's correct behavior. Fail out, not silent, but it means your validation rules have to be satisfiable. 3. Match validation to reality. Size max 5 on suggestions is fine. Over-constraining just triggers needless retries. And 4. The model matters as much as the pattern. A tiny local model, for example, in my experiments, I tried Gemma 4 with 2 billion active parameters first, can't follow the schema and fails the loop. One size up with 4 billion active parameters and it's rock solid. But every call is around 30 seconds on local hardware versus a few on a cloud model. The pattern is portable. The experience isn't free. Size your model to your latency budget. So shape it with a good schema and enums, guard it with bean validation, and let it self-heal with reprompt loop. That's structured output you can actually put in front of users, local or cloud. So as usual, codes on my GitHub, link in the description. Next Friday, we go deep on tool calling, multiple tools, parameter validation, handling tool failures gracefully, the other half of building real AI features in Spring. If this saved you a production incident, subscribe so you catch it. See you next Friday. Bye bye.